Hey guys, Blakey here and welcome back to another video. Today I have another devlog for you guys about my game Silhouette Dash, which will hopefully be released for free next month. In today's devlog I've got some exciting changes I want to show you guys, so without further ado let's jump straight into it. Before we do carry on, I would like to say that the release is slightly delayed as I didn't realise quite the amount of polish needed before I release this game, so I do apologise for that. So as you can see from the title, I've managed to implement some super cool boss fights. By no means are they super advanced or really intense fights, but they do keep the player on their toes and force them to constantly think about their next move in very short periods of time. The way this works is actually pretty interesting. It combines a number of different scripts to bring a sprite to life. So the idea stemmed from my simple chase AI, which I mentioned in the previous devlog. I modified this AI to patrol a number of points in a random format with the help of Blackthorn Prod. It uses the random.range function to constantly choose a random point after waiting a little while at the previous point. So after that script was polished, I added my already made turret script from earlier in the game and applied that to the same sprite. Another boss moved in a random place erratically and also fired bullets at the player. Initially, the turret had some bugs, one annoying one which basically made the bullet intervals increase in speed, which was killing me for weeks, but I just randomly got rid of part of the code and it started working normally, so I just backed away and I haven't dared to touch it since. Now the turret only fires when the boss moves within a certain vicinity of the player, giving the illusion that the boss is smarter than it actually is. These two scripts combined built the foundations of this boss, and it's cool because it's quite customizable and I've been able to make new levels with some variety to different bosses. I gave the boss sprite a particle system just to bring it to life a little more, and also added another script which constantly looks at the player, making it slightly unnerving. It basically grabs the transform of the player and rotates the sprite so one side is always facing it. The direction is normalized, meaning it always has a magnitude of 1. I honestly couldn't tell you why this is important as I have no idea, but we're going to keep it there anyway. It also uses a function called mathf, which again I use tutorials to help me with this part, so I don't fully understand the need for all of them, but it works and that is what matters. I also modified the bullet prefab so it has a cool little trail going on, and also a particle system that explodes when the bullet collides with anything in the game, giving the illusion that it is blown up, kind of like a projectile. To finalise the AI of the boss, I added a small camera shake when a bullet fires. This gives each bullet more impact and also indicates to the player to move somewhere else. Now all the scripts for the player was finalised. I added a new script in which the player collides with an object that essentially kills the boss. It sets its rigid body to be dynamic, which basically means it uses gravity, whereas before it wasn't. And also the camera shakes for a couple seconds, the boss sprite falls off screen, and the turret script is disabled. Pretty cool. This is all stored in a coroutine as they're just so useful and you all know how much I use them. Alongside this boss fight, I also finally tackled cutscenes, something I wasn't planning on adding as it seemed too hard to be honest, but in the end it was actually quite easy to do. Unity has a built-in tab called Timeline, and after looking through the documentation, I managed to get a cool cutscene working and even added the cinematic black bars through animation. It also disabled player input, adding to the cutscene feel. I'm planning on adding another one of these at the start of the game just because I can. Apart from that, I've pretty much been going through every level, testing for glitches, fixing them, finding another bug, and so on in an endless loop. It's just been about finalising the game with as little bugs as possible, but not so little that it constantly creates more. One big bug that I have come across which is so annoying is that when the player collides with the ground, it sets a boolean called isGrounded to true. Now the issue with that is that it uses the box collider attached to the player, and my walls are also a part of the same tile map, meaning if the player was touching both the floor and the wall at the same time, it was basically setting that boolean to true and then false for whatever reason, and making another boolean isJumping to true, meaning I couldn't jump and a jump animation was playing even though I was still on the floor. After learning so much about Unity since starting this project, I now know that the ground check I use for this game is so impractical, and I just wish I used a box cast, which is a form of array cast. But it's honestly too late to go back and change it all, because so much of the code relies on the box collider. So to fix this, I made a new tile map. So one is for the floor and one is for the walls. So impractical and time consuming, but it's honestly the best I can do at this moment in time. One thing which did save me time is using a tile map collider with a composite collider. Now I tried to use this at the start of development, but the tile map collider position was way off and just looked weird, so I scrapped it. And now that I'm coming towards the end of development, of course I found a way to modify the position of the collider for each tile, which literally would have saved me hours of work, and I would have been able to make such cool levels, but here we are. Knowing I have this now, I'm planning on going back into previous levels and just making better levels. Now I know it won't take up so much time. So overall, it's definitely a good thing that I found this. If you want to know how I did it, leave a comment below and maybe I'll do a tutorial on it. Another level I'm currently working on is a maze, which is quite cool, and this is where the idea to change the tile map collision came from, as the thought of adding colliders to each floor and wall nearly made me faint. And I do have a little surprise as part of this maze level, but I'm going to leave that up to the player to find out. Finally, the last thing I wanted to showcase in this devlog is some music. Now I have 2 tracks for this game made by an external composer who's really talented, by the way. I did want to make some music of my own for this game, as I honestly prefer my work to not have to rely on anyone, as stupid as that sounds. So I used the idiot-proof music making software nobody knows how to pronounce, known as Boss Garcia Oil. We'll go with that. Anyway, I made a boss battle theme for the boss level and thought it actually came out half decent. Here's a listen. Anyway, I won't make you sit through that whole thing. So apart from that guys, I pretty much need to polish levels, add some more music and so on. If you have any music you want to see in the game, feel free to comment below or message me in any of the links in the description. Apart from that guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've got any more videos you want to see me make, feel free to leave them in the description. I'll thank you very much for watching and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.